All right, Daniel, we starting it? Yo, what up, Knicks Nation? What's going on? Had to start a new hop on over to the new channel. You already know what it is. All right. Man, what a tough one. New York Knicks take on the Minnesota Timberwolves home at Madison Square Garden, and from the jump, looked like it was going to be an even game. We saw these guys just exchanging shots. All right, JB had a very hot first quarter, but even with his hot first quarter and dropping 13 points, we saw that Nas Reed, we saw that Mike Conley. These guys were not going to let them go into the night and not shoot the fair one, because guess what? Timberwolves wanted revenge. Timberwolves wanted revenge after the Knicks shellacked them out in Minnesota, so they came through, and all you needed was Mike Conley getting off to a good first quarter start, and then Anthony Edwards coming through. And the Knicks, man, I thought they were going to have this one. You thought they were going to battle through for all four quarters, especially after a hot second quarter from Cam Payne. But after coming out of the second half, they came out flat, man. They weren't ready to defend. They weren't ready to compete. Minnesota Timberwolves, this was a nice, highly competitive match for about 3 quarters. But then the Knicks just could not, once again, stop the three-pointers from falling. And then, sure enough, this team would just lose. They would lose 116-99. Not great, guys. Not great. Not great. But here we are. We're here to talk about it. We're here to discuss. I want to hear your takes. I want to hear your thoughts on tonight's game, man. I know this is a frustrating loss. I'm pissed. This is aggravating. We should have came out here and demolished them again without Karl Anthony Towns, all right? You didn't even get a good performance from Julius Randle. Should have came out here and won this one. You already know what to do. Make sure to download the Discord. Go through the app. Go through the web browser, whatever it is. Make sure to join the Discord. I want to hear your takes tonight. I want to hear your thoughts on this game. Frustrating loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Good Lord. Don't worry. We got CP on the way. We got JD on the way. These guys are going to be here to give their takes soon enough. Well, this game, I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. I mean, I do get it, but I really don't get it, because it's the same recipe at the same time over and over for why we're losing these games. The 3-point defense is just abysmal. I don't get it at all. You would think that after losing a couple of games to even bad teams that are not even good at shooting the three, that we would learn that, hey, maybe, just maybe, we just stay home, guard the perimeter, because every single time, it's just frustrating to watch this team just, And yo, I gotta call out Tibbs, man. I gotta call out Tibbs. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Because we need to like figure out this 3-point defense. How are we going to be able to keep up with other teams if we're not going to be knocking them down or preventing them from knocking them down? I'm just so frustrated, man. This thing just so aggravating, bro. So aggravating that we're losing by threes. Timberwolves come out tonight shooting 55% from downtown. Team shooting 55 family show percent from downtown. And on the regular season, this is not a good 3-point shooting team at all. At all. Just frustrating, man. Just frustrating. Look at that. This team doesn't even shoot that many threes. Oh, actually, they do. Look at that. They're 7th. Actually, I stand correct. This team has turned it around. They're knocking down 38%. This team was in the basement to start the season. Wow. Wow. Can we please guard the three, though? Frustrating. And you know what the thing is? And I got to start with the 3-point defense because it's just been the Achilles heel of this team for so long. I mean, everyone's talked about it. I talked about it after the OKC loss. We have not been able to slow guys down. We allow other guys to get comfortable in our house, at their house, doesn't even matter. And for a team that has championship aspirations, if we can't defend at a high level, whether it be guarding the paint, whether it be guarding the three, it's not going to go far, man. And I know some are saying, hey, if we had Cat tonight, we're going to get offense going. I don't even know, man. I honestly don't know because we've seen even with Cat, we still allow threes, and this team was just way too comfortable knocking down 3-point shots. Way too comfortable. Way too comfortable. This defense overall, man, just needs to step it up. But even outside the defense, offensively, this team needs to get it together too. I mean, how do you go? Yes. Timberwolves shot only 19 in the third quarter. Knicks only shot 18. But I'm expecting more than just 18 points in a third quarter. These third quarter lulls, man. These third quarter lulls are just difficult to watch at this point. And I don't even know if it's necessarily minutes at this point because these guys, you know, they looked hot to start. Cam Payne dropping, he was dropping buckets in the second quarter. This man had like 13 points. I thought it was 13 points in 3 minutes. He was looking mighty fine out there. You had Jalen Brunson dropping 13 points in the first quarter. So I don't know, man. Like this team was looking really good. And I mean, you even had Tibbs letting Cam Payne get like what? Close to 8 minutes in the second quarter? And yet that's still not enough. You finally get some solid bench scoring, and yet that's still not enough to come out in the third quarter and figure it out. Not enough. Cam Payne had 6 minutes in the second quarter, and he got 2 in the first. So yeah, he had 8 minutes. He had an 8-minute stretch. This guy had an 8-minute stretch. And it still wasn't enough. Still was not enough. I don't know, man. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think about tonight's game? I want to get your thoughts and opinions. This defense is the thing that's just bothering me the most. Especially the offense has been fine. But the defense has just got to change. It absolutely has to change. I thought another thing tonight, when we're looking for solid 5 minutes going against the Timberwolves, we didn't even get good minutes from Jericho Sims and Precious Achiuwa tonight. These guys were out here not giving any resistance. Anthony Edwards started to get comfortable in the second quarter, started going downhill. Second half, I mean, this guy was just all over the place. This guy was just making it look easy. We gave him no resistance. Zero. No one made him uncomfortable. Mikal Bridges, where are you? You were the key matchup for me in my Game of the Week preview. I said, Mikal Bridges, I needed you in this game to make Anthony Edwards uncomfortable, and yet we couldn't even get that tonight. In the third quarter, Anthony Edwards got off solid 10 points, and you just saw him rolling. You just saw him rolling in the third quarter. Like, what? Sorry, looking at the wrong thing. Third quarter, 11 points. Sorry. We'll get the old game because I was using that for yesterday's stats. When I was talking with our guy. Talking with our guy, Jack. You allow Anthony Edwards, like Mikal Bridges' defense has to get better than this. Just has to get better than this. Like, if we're going to have something sustainable, if we're going to have something that we're going to hang our hat on from a wings possession, the wings position, Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby need to step up. Bridges is having just this up and down play. And when we're looking at a guy to make somebody uncomfortable, like fighting over screens, he's just allowing guys just to get downhill. I mean, Anthony Edwards, like I said, had no resistance whatsoever. I'm not expecting this guy to be completely stopped. I'm not. I'm not expecting him to to have 0 points or 10 points. He is Anthony Edwards. He is a good player. He's an up and coming. He is a superstar. And he's still climbing the ladder to be something great in this league. But I need something more than what we got tonight. I need something more from Mikal Bridges than what we got tonight, because Anthony Edwards just dropped 36 and made it look way too easy after this guy was having a cold. This man was missing. He missed his first 5-6 shots in the first quarter. But yet he was able to get comfortable enough to pull this thing away. And the big thing, too, is that he went 8 for 13 from downtown. That's the killer. This guy went 8 for 13 from downtown. Bridges, that's your assignment, man. You got to do better than that. And man, OG, I felt like had a very light night tonight because Randall wasn't doing anything. You know what I mean? Like, Randall was out there being more of a facilitator, just trying to grab boards. Wasn't really too involved with the offense. He looked like he learned from the last game, where he just can't be that guy to just try to overtake a game. And so he took a step back and just had a good, solid floor game for the Timberwolves. But OG having a silent night as well. Offensively, you know, it looks good on paper. You know, had 10 boards, got the 18 points with 5 of 10 from the field. But not enough, man. We need more. We need more. We need more from this wing stop. The versatility, the defense. What's going on? But if you want to get the tips, let's get the tips for a little bit. Because I thought this game, we just allowed too much to protect the paint. Too much protecting the paint. And while I get that this is his style of protecting the paint, got to switch it up, man. We really got to switch it up. This is just not, for this team to succeed, we have to be adaptable. We have to be versatile. We have to be willing to try different defensive schemes in order to be better than what we are. And just sticking with the drop coverage. And sure, we've seen from time to time where he keeps Cat at the level. We've seen the blitzes at times. It has to be even more. It has to be at another level at this point, because this team defensively is just not showing it. I get that guys are tired. I get that the bench is, you know, so-so on some nights, if not even worse. I mean, Precious and Sims, once again. Cam Payne was fine tonight, especially in the first half. Sims, Precious, not so much. But we got to figure out a different way, man. We got to figure out how to work to these guys' strengths, whether it be Cat, Brunson, whoever, because it's not going to lead to where we want to see this team go. I understand we need another cycle, another offseason cycle, in order for things to really go through. But we need something to change from a defensive schematic standpoint for this team. Offensively, it's fine. We can see this team move the ball around. We've seen that. We've seen it nights. We've seen it. We've seen it at the beginning of the season. We've seen it other games too. This team knows how to move the ball. We know how to get, this team knows how to get, find guys who are cutting, how to get Cat working the high post, the low post. We've seen it. Defensively, though, it needs to change. Just needs to change. Who? I see Jay saying it's fine. It's not fine. I'm saying it looks fine from a statistical standpoint. I'm not saying he played fine. He needs to be better, man. That's what I'm saying. Wingstop needs to be better. Y'all are angry in the chat. I get it. Y'all angry at Tibbs. I get it, man. I get it. This team also has to perform. It's everybody. It ain't just one person. We need more, man. We absolutely need more from this team. Salute to Knicks Nation. Thank you all for tuning in for another KFTV post-game live. We were waiting for everybody to get through. CP's on his way back. JD's still working on his stuff to come through tonight. But we're going to take some of the calls, man. It's a frustrating loss. Absolutely frustrating loss. So let's load up the Discord. And I want to hear what you guys have to say. All right. So let's start off with OS Jedi. OS Jedi, unmute your mic, man. What's going on?
Hey, I just unmuted my mic. How's it going tonight?
Good, man. How you feeling tonight, man? What do you think about this game? Are you frustrated like the rest of us? What's happening?
Okay, first off, I am frustrated. This is a moment where there's an emergency, break glass. We're breaking the glass right now.
Breaking the glass? Why are we breaking the glass?
We're not performing to the level we should be performing at. It is, don't want to use the word embarrassing, but it's pretty close to embarrassing what happened today.
Just because we lost to the Timberwolves, or like what is it? The defense? What is the embarrassing part that you're seeing here?
Okay, I mentioned this last time I called. What happens is the defense collapses into the paint and leaves people open for three. It's insane. And like the only thing that's gonna solve this is Mitchell Robinson, because when Mitchell Robinson comes back, we're gonna have someone in the paint who can protect the rim. So we'll have our protectors going out and watching the three ball. I'm not sure like why everyone's like trade Mitch, blah 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 blah. He is one of the best centers in the league. This is not like he didn't get injured because he had too many minutes. He got injured because Embiid grabbed his leg when he was jumping. Sorry for the rant.
Nah, man. I want to hear it, man. Fans, you are part of rest of Knicks Nation that is aggravated tonight, man. You're part of the rest of Knicks Nation that is aggravated.
I just think we deserve better. I think this team could have done better today, and that's what saddens me. And what we need to do is what the team needs to do. This next team needs to realize that they're going to break the glass, the emergency glass of like, we need to have a talk. That needs to happen right now. Thank you. There's a lot of other callers, and I just want to give them time. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem, OS Jedi. That's OS Jedi on the call. He's saying that Mitchell Robinson will be the savior. I don't think Mitchell Robinson will be the savior, but I think Mitch will help. But I don't think he'll answer all these problems, because at the end of the day, when you get Mitchell Robinson back, there is just a finite number of minutes that's going to be distributed amongst this team. And we all know how Tom Thibodeau is when it comes to making fourth quarter decisions. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to have, we discussed this on prior show. Once Mitch comes back, what's the decision for him defensively? Because right now, you know Brunson's going to play. You know Cat's got to be out there. There's no way you're going to have those guys. You just paid OG Anunoby $200+ million. He's got to be out there. Josh Hart is a Tom Thibodeau guy. And so then you're talking about Mikal Bridges, who you traded all those picks for. And then you also need Mitchell Robinson, because you know the rim protection is lacking out there. And if you're going to have Brunson, at the point, you know, point of attack defense, the whole point of Mitch is to, you know, clean a lot of that up. And credit to Brunson tonight, man. I thought he tried very well on defense. I thought he had some good moments. But, you know, he's not a defensive stalwart. All right? I'm just not expecting that out of him. And so if you're going to have Mitch in this whole thing as well, and if Tibbs is going to rely on Mitch, someone's losing minutes. It's going to be a more complicated fourth quarter situation. We already know how that goes, man. We already know how that goes. And so I don't think Mitch will be the savior. I think he can help. I think he can help clean up a lot of the things that we're seeing. I think the savior is a little too much. This team as a whole just needs to be better guarding defensively. He'll make a lot of guys look better, but I don't think he'll be the savior. Bridges and OG need to step up defensively in order for this thing to work. Josh Hart's out there, you know, giving it 110%. We need the other guys to lock in defensively and get back to their form as well. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Knicks Fix on the line. Knicks Fix, what's going on?
Alex, what's going on tonight, man?
Aggravated, man. How you feeling?
Dude, I got a lot, man. I got a lot tonight. So, yeah, man. So, a couple of things, man. Cam Payne was absolutely on fire, right? Tibbs played
Hmm.
him for 4 minutes in the second half. Why? Why are we packing the paint over and over and over every night and we're leaving 3-point shooters wide open? Why is there no offensive creativity, right? There's no plays down the stretch of games. Just ISO Brunson, set a pick for him, let him create. You know, the not staggering the Mikal and Brunson minutes just made no sense. Running double teams with Brunson on players. Payne benched was honestly the thing that got me so hot tonight, man. He was shooting out of his mind. It makes no sense. We keep packing the paint like it's 1993, man, hoping other teams miss. The coach can't maximize the talent of his teams. He's asking guys to protect the paint, then get back to the perimeter, then crash the boards, all while they're playing like 40 minutes a night. It's not sustainable, man. And honestly, man, Alex, I think the game is passing by. He's like 67 years old. It's not 1993 anymore. We weren't gonna win the ring with him. We're not gonna win without him. So like, yeah, I don't know if you heard the post game, like when he had the press conference tonight. I don't know what this guy was talking about, man.
What do you say on the post game, man? I was busy getting set. I was getting busy setting up. So just inform us and the rest of Knicks Nation who had not heard.
He was rambling on and on, Alex. He was like pretty much like, um, our, how he always says that like we have to create, right? The game tells us what to do. But
Yes.
tonight, the actual quote was, "It's pretty much been a wash all year. We'd like to have the advantage, but you have to generate your threes." It just made no sense. It like they asked him straight up, "What was the defensive plan for the threes?" I'll repeat that. He said, "It's pretty much been a wash all year. We'd like to have the advantage, but you have to generate your threes." And I think the reporter asked him like, "Hey, we gave them an extra 8 3-pointers tonight because I think it was 14 to 22." And
Hmm.
like I don't know, man. I feel like I hate to say it, but I wonder if this guy like lost the locker room, man.
Hey, look. I mean, these guys. It seems like these guys are still going to play for Tibbs. I don't know if they necessarily lost the locker room. I also don't think that there would be a coaching change mid-season. In all honesty, like what's going to come down to the evaluation is the postseason for Tom Thibodeau. So,
Yeah,
right, like at the end, and I also think as an organization, just to keep things like, if you want to entice a coach, you want to entice somebody to come here where you're not throwing like a crap ton of pressure on them. I think a mid-season firing wouldn't happen. It wouldn't look great either. Doesn't mean a team would turn around through that as well. So it's going to be based on the postseason, man. How things happen in the postseason. And I mean, we're watching other teams. We're watching teams that are not even good at necessarily 3-point shooting. Just have decent 3-point shooting nights against us. As I just pointed out, Timberwolves shockingly turned their season around because they were not shooting the three ball this well to start the season. And now they're fourth in the league. And how do you allow a team that's fourth in the league at shooting threes, percentage wise, just like come into your house and just get comfortable at doing something that they're strong at? And so, what Tibbs should be looking to do is take away their strength, right? And we know that we're not going to stop Anthony Edwards. Like that's just not going to happen. All right, he's going to go get his. So what else do we got to do, which is stopping the rest of the team's strength, which is 3-point shooting, which we've yet to do for anybody this season. And it's just got to change at this point, man. It's just got to change. I know players got to execute, but we got to put them in position to execute too. And it's just getting crazy that we're just dropping every single time, man. It's just crazy that we're dropping every single time.
I agree, man. Like before I go, man, I want to say, yeah, man. Like if you look at what Sacramento did after they let go of Mike Brown, right? It looked like Doug Christie got that team on a roll, man. They're like 8-2 in the last 10, and I think that he was seeing things on the bench that Mike Brown wasn't seeing. So if you watching that, like how the Kings are playing, like a couple of guys on their bench are starting to light it up, and it was the same thing with like Johnny Bryant, right? He would see these guys on the bench. He would like be in Tibbs' ear and went to sub out guys, and it's just like, what are we doing, man? I agree with you. We're not going to fire Tibbs. We're not going to fire Tibbs in the middle of the season. I think if anything, at the end of the season, he's going to get promoted to like a front office job.
Hmm.
But I don't know, man. This is too much. All right, Alex, take care, man.
Appreciate you for calling in, Knicks Fix. That was Knicks Fix on the Discord, man. And whew, it's getting tough, man. It's getting tough on a night-to-night basis when you're watching the same thing go over and over and over, and things just don't change. And things just don't change, man. And like I said, I get it. It's there's a schematic issue with this, and there's also a player issue. Like the teams, the coaches got to put the players in the position at this point. And against a team where they're shooting the 3 ball very well, this is not something that you want to just like allow them to do. It's getting a little out of hand. Getting a little out of hand. What is he going to do to get this group back in a groove? Because it was not too long ago, we were on a 9-game winning streak through the month of December. And now through January, where we're on a homestand, you know, you're home, you're supposed to be comfortable, you're supposed to be, you know, looking like a little bit more cohesive. A little bit more cohesive. Want to see more. But my guy's here. My guy is with me on the other side at this point. Daniel, let's get the second screen going because I see that none other than Mr. JD Sports Talk is in the building. And it looks like he's ready to go, man. It looks like he's ready to go. Making his grand return to KFTV. My man's been busy, but he's back. He's back. What's going on, JD? What's happening?
Am I good?
You good, man. You good. Daniel, put this man on the screen so that people can see him and so we can get his takes.
Doesn't look perfect with this software right now, but you know we'll make it work tonight.
Looks crispy clean to me, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Looks crispy clean to me. So, JD, what do you think about tonight's game, man? Frustrating loss. Absolutely frustrating loss.
Continues the whirlwind, the ups and downs of the season, where the team, you know, is 11 games, 27-16, I believe now on the season, 13-8 at home, and yet, for whatever reason, it just feels like there's a lot left to this team. There's a lot that they're leaving out on the court. A lot of plays that they're not executing, and we're a good way of the season through. We're approaching the second half, and now you're going to start to see. You see the paces. You see some teams that are starting to separate. They're starting to pick it up, and it's go time soon here, especially after the All-Star break, where you're going to start to see teams ramp it up. You're going to start to see teams developing their identity, and it kind of feels like the Knicks are still searching. There's stretches of games where you see, okay, this is their identity, and then they have a setback, and you're figuring out, okay, what type of team are they, and what type of team they want to be. And those are two separate conversations right now. And defensively, man, it's something that is just continues to be frustrating in terms of defending the 3-point line. And you know, this head coach now is starting to face a lot of pressure. I feel like the pressure is going to start to ramp up soon because, you know, there's expectations, and there is. Some of it's a little bit unfair because I don't think he has exactly the perfect personnel, but at this point, I don't think it matters, Alex. I don't think it matters. You know, you have the cat issue with the rim protection and the drop coverage. So that's an issue that the coach has to maneuver around. You have the point guard position. You have a weird team where there's so much talent, but your two weakest points are at the two sides of the basketball that you don't want, which is your first line of defense and your last line of defense. Tonight, Cat did not play, and yet they still, you know, don't execute defensively. So this is something that's going to start to ramp up. I think a lot of pressure on the head coach to figure out a solution, especially when you have stretches on the court where you have Precious, OG, Mikal, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride. Like, you have times where you have personnel out there where there's a lot of defenders, but for whatever reason, they don't have the chemistry right now, and there's no execution going on. And I think a lot of it, some of it is scheme. And some of it is this team just is not buying into the defensive game plans.
Interesting that you say they're not buying into the defensive game plan. It's like, so, you know, last caller just came in and said that Tibbs might be losing the locker room. Are you sensing that right now when you watch these games?
I don't think, because you see effort out there. I mean, I see effort. I just don't see a full buy-in. And remember, Josh Hart was alluding to some of that. And I didn't think Josh Hart was necessarily calling out. There's a lot of speculation. Was it OG? Was it this? Was it that? I just think there's frustration. I think the players themselves see the expectations. They feel. How many times have you seen Josh Hart talk about, apology forms for Mikal Bridges after that Spurs game? Josh Hart every now and then talks about, this, we're always crying after this. Everybody's crying. Calm down, relax. Like his response tells me they feel the pressure, and because they're responding to it. They're responding to social media accounts. They're quote tweeting, people's opinions. I think these players are starting to feel the pressure of expectations, and I think they're just trying to figure it out. And I don't know that every player has bought in to the scheme. And I don't know if it's because the players or a player on the team doesn't fully believe in the scheme, or they just feel that things should be switched up, like adapted, adjusted. And in other words, when a player doesn't necessarily buy into the scheme, it also doesn't mean that the coach has lost that player, because that player could still show a lot of effort within the scheme. But if there's no buy-in, then that's something that I think the front office has to figure out along with the head coach. And sometimes the front office figures that out without the head coach if they think it's something of the head coach. So every department here is getting tested to me. The front office in terms of Leon Rose, the head coach, and the players. And right now, all three of them, they don't seem to be fully aligned in terms of the execution that we're seeing out on the court.
For sure, man. It's like, and I'll say this, like, to your point about like in full alignment, it's like it's hard to be aligned with a game plan where night in and night out you see the same results every single time. I mean, this team is now 25th in the league when it comes to guarding opponents' 3-pointers. You know what I mean? And so like if the whole point is, we're going to protect the paint first and then worry about the three, or force the more difficult pass when someone drives and gets to the weak side three and stuff of that nature. It's like, if that's the whole point of running ice and it's not working, at what point do you say, okay, man, like, and that's where the head coach, like, I've been trying to like reserve, like putting a lot of blame on Tom Thibodeau. I'm still not putting all the blame on Tom Thibodeau, because at the end of the day, the players got to execute too. And you got to work with the cards that you're dealt. And it's an imperfect deck, as you already mentioned, right? You got an imperfect hand, I should say. And it's like, you got guys who are weak at the two primary positions that you need defense at, point of attack and rim protection. But you got to be adaptable and figure out something. Cat, not the strongest in drop coverage. He didn't play tonight, as you mentioned, but it doesn't seem like even Jericho Sims, it doesn't seem like Precious Achiuwa on a consistent night-to-night basis, these guys can execute. So at what point do you go back to the drawing board and be flexible and adaptable? And that's all I'm asking for at this point. Is can we be flexible and adaptable for what this roster is consistent of? Because you're going to have to be that way in the postseason anyway. Not each team is constructed the same way, and your roster is not constructed the same way that it was in the past. And so while we were able to live with that the previous seasons, whether it was having Mitchell Robinson or Isaiah Hartenstein, we got to now like switch things up. And it's like, it's now through the month of January. And the thing is, JD, it's like they're home. It's not like they're traveling a lot. They're home. You know what I mean? So you should be well rested. You should be able to like get up for these games and execute. And so now you're home, you're playing some top tier teams, and it's like, this should be the right combination for you to like actually show up and show out. You know what I mean? And so when they're not showing up and showing out, and it's this is the issue. It's like, all right, so what do we got to do now to change so that way? And it's fine if you're going to have a rough January, and then you can push through February and then start to rev up in March and April for the big part of the season, which is the postseason. But like, I'd at least want to see something different at this point, at this juncture. And that's just the frustrating part to me.
And it's so just because we're here today and there's concerns. I just don't know how much concern I should be today. Like, should I jump out the window and say, forget about this season? Should I jump out the window and say, they're not contenders? I just don't know yet, because first of all, Cat didn't play tonight, right?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Then the next thing that I'm thinking is, because as you mentioned, I'm also trying to, as much as I can, steer away from the head coach criticism, because I want that to be the main focus closer to the end of the season into the playoffs, because I just feel that that's where he's going to be ultimately evaluated on, right? Like, if these issues we talk about today are still the issues in the playoffs, then you already know we're going out early in the playoffs. And then I think the head coach is going to face the most criticism that he's faced all season. So then I think, is it like, is the coach trying to get the players to buy into the scheme that he wants to execute now? Or is the head coach waiting a little bit more to see, okay, everything's hit the fan, nothing's working. Let me now start to change things up. Let me now start to, bring, alter a little bit, tweak some things in terms of defensive schemes. Because sometimes, when you go into the season with the personnel and a game plan, listen, we as fans react to it on a night-to-night basis, but before a head coach fully pivots from what he believes in, it can't be 30, 40 games into the season and you bail on it, right? Like, and I know that's sometimes difficult to comprehend, because we as fans, we want immediate changes, defensive scheme changes. We want changes to bring results on a nightly basis. But when you're a head coach and you come into a season with a certain scheme, it's going to take a lot before that head coach says, all right, guys, you got it. Let me switch things up now. Let me blitz on the hedge. Forget the drop coverage. Let's switch everything. Let's play more man-to-man. Like, before some of those things happen, I think there needs to be more, things that go south. And right now, it's not looking good, especially that 3-point defense. I think they were 25th in the league going into tonight. They probably dropped a spot or two after, the performance tonight. So, that 3-point defense percentage in terms of opponents is getting worse and worse. So to me, it's like, are we going to start to see changes soon if things don't get better? Because this is going to be a lot of the roster. Like, when people talk about improving this roster, I don't know where you're going to do it, Alex, because you have the restrictions with the salary cap. I think they're probably going to hope for a veteran to steer free in the buyout market. That's probably one of your hopes. Or if, as you saw with, some of these trades, Nick Richards, Finney Smith, etc., maybe, you trade some second round picks and you try to get in another perimeter wing or something like that. But, 80% of this roster, this is your rotation, guys. So this head coach has to figure it out. This team, they have to figure it out. They have to find a way. There's no running. We could use a trade machine for the offseason. This is it, man. At least for this season, we got to figure this out.
Salute to Knicks Nation. Thank you all for tuning for another KFTV post game live. Got my guy JD Sports Talk on the other side. We're on the ones and twos tonight. All right, and here with all you talking about this tough loss, but hopefully brighter future ahead, man. Hopefully Tom Thibodeau and this crew figure something out. But yo, JD, let's get into some key stats of the night. All right, my man. Presented by Underdog Fantasy. Yo, tonight, not a good one. As we know, Knicks lost 116-99 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yo, they lost a rebounding battle in this one, man. 46-41. I know we didn't have Cat tonight. He's just been so dominant on the boards. It was just Josh Hart out there, and you're hoping that Sims, you're hoping that Precious, these guys can give you something extra. OG chipped in tonight. Finally got some double digits from him, which is nice to see. But we're going to need more out of this team, man, if we're going to win this one, because we just had to control the glass. Assist battle, man. This is something that's just been alarming to me. I know we weren't hitting shots tonight, but from a point where we're making like 36, 38 assists in a game, man, we're now back to 19, looking like the old school ways where it's just holding on to the rock. Don't like it, man. I just need to see a little more ball movement. Knicks actually won the steal battle. They got 10 steals against the Minnesota Timberwolves. We saw Julius cough it up a couple times. They just knew how to throw the double team against him, but still didn't translate enough for the Knicks to get out there and go get the lead. Won the block battle 4-2, won the turnover battle They only had 9 to the Timberwolves 15, and my guy Jack said on last night, if you can win the turnover battle, you probably go win this game. Not tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then this is where it started to get really ugly, JD. Knicks shot 39% from the field while shooting a nice 41% from downtown and shot 88% from the free throw line. Timberwolves just shot 53% from the field, 55% from downtown. Godly number for these guys. They were just scorching tonight, man. Couldn't even stop them. Then you'll get the fast break points. Knicks actually won that one 10-8. Second chance points. Timberwolves coming out 17-9. And then points in the paint, man. Very little for the Knicks. And they lost this one too, 36-34. Those are some of the key stats of tonight, man. What were your takeaways?
Listen, my main takeaway, to be honest, is what the Timberwolves did. Shooting 50, what was it? 53%?
55 from three.
55 from three, and then overall 53, right? 53% overall. I mean, bro, like you can talk about, us shooting 38% and okay, we would have picked up the offense, but okay, so what are we expected to shoot? 55% too? Like well, you got to get stops. And a lot of the game was close pretty much to the end. They ran out of gas and they couldn't, score, especially in the second half. And then here's where there is criticism in terms of the coach, because we talk about the stats, right? Okay, So what led to them to be so effective shooting? Julius Randle tonight, and it's so crazy because I think he played the way he played because I know he heard the criticism of how that game went in Minnesota, where he came out the first quarter, he thought it was NBA 2K.
It was the complete opposite tonight.
The complete opposite. And I don't care what anyone says. You cannot tell me that wasn't Julius. And I don't even think it was Julius kind of feeling pressure because he's at the Garden. I think it's because that was so like the opposite of the way Cat played to the way he played, that I feel like he kind of felt it a little personal. Like, okay, I can't play the same way. But here's what I'm saying. He played 35 minutes, 6 shot attempts. He was the second highest plus minus on the Timberwolves at plus 20 in those 35 minutes, with Anthony Edwards being the highest at 24. They were the only ones even that high. Everybody else was like in the teens or 16, 12, and 9 in terms of their starting five. He shot 6 shot attempts and was a plus 20 in 35 minutes. And my criticism is, you saw, like, how long did it take you to realize Julius is not trying to be aggressive tonight? Julius is trying to be a connector tonight of the offense. How many times did we overcommit to him? How many times did we double him when he's not looking to shoot? Why are we doubling him? Now, I understand giving him that respect to start the game, because he does garner that respect to start the games, because you don't know what type of aggressiveness he's going to come with in terms of the game, right? But it's like, okay, midway through the second quarter, going into the half, by now, you've seen his mentality for the night. He's not looking to come in and score 30 or 40 or 50. He's looking to, be a decoy. So why don't we adjust the game plan and stop doubling, stop overcommitting, stop over collapsing? And Julius was a big reason on why they had so many wide open shots, is because we overplayed a guy that wasn't looking to be aggressive. If anything, maybe we should have played Anthony Edwards that way. But we did it to Julius. And that right there to me is, listen, it's the regular season, but in the playoffs, that's the type of criticism that gets you, fired. Because in the post game, we're going to be wondering, wait, hold up. We just lost the playoff game because we're overplaying a guy that's not even looking to be aggressive. I mean, look, and you can see Julius had zero interest in shooting the basketball. It was so bad that, what was it? I think his first shot was like an air ball.
It was an air ball. It was an air ball 3 from the right corner. He did not want to shoot, man. Even like when you saw him drive, I was like, I was like, all right, this man's clearly not interested, because we know if it could be like through three family show defenders and he'd try the layup, and I'm like, oh, he's kicking out tonight? I'm like, hold on. And we still followed. And it's like, who got played by who at this point? It's like, You know, Tim's probably going in here like, we know Julius is going to come in here, overcommit, try to be that guy. And the next thing you know, it's like you're watching, you're like, at what point do you realize, like, hey, man, he's not being that guy as you're saying? And it's like, we got to do something different.
And that's always been my, and I think a lot of fans' frustration with the coaching staff is the quarter to quarter, lack of kind of like they stick to their game plan. It seems to be no matter what, no matter how things change. It's this just strong belief in what the game plan is for the night. And I think with some fans' frustration is sometimes you may even have a solid game plan going into a night, but then a guy like Julius throws you off. So you know what I mean? Like, so it's not even so much that I'm criticizing that the game plan was the wrong game plan, but sometimes, as you see, when the game develops, and Thibodeau says a lot, like that's his motto, right? The game tells you what to do. If you're open, shoot. If somebody's open, pass them the ball. Read and react, right? I wish the coaching staff would do the same thing. Read and react. You know what I mean? Like, I wish we follow the same thing as a coaching staff as we, kind of preach the players to do. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in terms of, as down the stretch when it comes to really, really looking at how much this coaching staff can get out of this scheme and get out of these players.
And for you and for everyone at home, that was Key Stats of the Night, brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Make sure to use that promo code KFTV to get up to $1,000 in instant bonus cash and a free pick. And you know what, JD? I did play Underdog tonight. I did do a draft against CP. I know you're talking, man. I saw you in the chat today. You want to get back in the draft. Look, man, I think it's more fun when it's more than just two people because, like, it's just over. Tonight was just, like, way too much talent. I'm like, this is Cat didn't play, and I got Anthony Edwards as a replacement. So if that's the case, I hope I did well against CP tonight. Where I should have won this one, but hey, we'll see.
How did it go?
I'm trying to find it right now because Underdog's like all over the place with how things are going, and I'm winning. Look at that, 240 to 219. CP still got a chance to come out here and win, but right now I'm leading.
He has some West Coast players.
He's got some West Coast players going right now. He's got Jokic going.
Oh, yeah, you're a little gassed up right now.
Yeah, you got. Wait, Austin Reed. He's got the Lakers going against Brooklyn. Yeah, man. But hey, we'll see what happens, man. He's got 7 quarters to go. I got 1 quarter to go, so we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully, I barely beat him last time, man. That's all you need. I beat him by like 0.2. That's what it came down to, man. 0.2. That's all that matters.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And shout out to Underdog Fantasy too. What do you think about the utilization of Cam Payne tonight?
I thought it was
as we continue the theme of, looking into the microscope and trying to figure out all the ways that, and I know people could be like, well, it's Cam Payne. It's Cam Payne. Like, why are you going to cry about Cam Payne? And it's like, this is what I'm saying. You let the game tell you how to adapt to it. And this is a guy, that same Cam Payne that's inconsistent, that, you don't know what you're going to get from him on a nightly basis, at least tonight. I don't care how you feel he's going to, be tomorrow or whatever. At least tonight, he was a sniper tonight. And he was a big reason that the Knicks got back into that game, right? When he came in, we were down. And his energy galvanized the troops, right? His energy galvanized the bench. And the team rallied around him. And he was scoring at a Jamal Crawford type pace. Yes. And then when you think we would need his energy in the second half, when we weren't scoring, happens to be the half that he doesn't play at all, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. And the thing is that he played for like 4 minutes in the second half and got, 1 point? And that was in the third quarter.
And how many shot attempts?
Sorry, he didn't even get 1 point. He got 0 points. He got 0 points.
Did he shoot?
He shot. Give me 1 second. He shot. Where is it? Where is he? Load. This thing is taking too long to load. What? Wait, what am I looking at here? There it is. He shot once.
and this is so it just
And
doesn't
that was
make
at the
sense.
end of the third quarter, by the way.
And this is like, it's like, I just don't get it, man. I just don't
We've seen this
understand.
before, though, JD. We saw this. We can go back to Tibbs' first year on the Knicks. Remember when Austin Rivers, we were out in Utah, Rivers was on that heater in the first half. I think he had like 22, 24 points. And you're like, and then he pulls him out and you're like, wait a minute, why are you pulling out a guy who's like literally can't miss? Like the dude could just like chuck up a shot, literally shot put it, it'd probably go in the hoop. And it's just those, it's baffling, man, because you got to ride that wave. I'm a guy who believes in the hot hand. Like if the guy is feeling it, you gotta let him go until he starts throwing up bricks, right? And Cam Payne was going, and it's like then when we even pulled him out, I'm like, did we even really need to pull him out? Like it seems like he still had a few more, left in the tank, right? Left in the chamber, and it's just this is the one thing I'll say that for Tibbs. Like we know that there's things that's about Tibbs that's positive, and there's also the negative. No one's perfect, man. No one in life is perfect. I get that. But the reading of when players are in a groove that are not your starters is one that just flies right out the window. Truly flies right out the window. And I'm like, why did we just let like anybody in the right mind? If your sixth man is going, if your eighth man is going, like you let him go, man. Just like tonight's his night. He's feeling it. And you don't know when they're going to feel it any other time. And that's the time you will allow them to build that confidence, right? But then you pull him out, and he only takes one shot in the second half. And he comes in with like 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. I'm like...
After we go through a stretch where we couldn't score, by the way.
Well, we couldn't hit anything. Literally put up 18 points. The dude put up, 16? I think he had 16 in the second quarter. What was it? Dude had 16 in the second quarter. He 2 points over what he did in one quarter by himself is what the Knicks put up. 18. Could have put it back out there and be like, all right, we need a little bit more energy. Cam, he still got it. That's all.
And you know what's even more frustrating about that, Alex, is the lack of just wanting to take that chance on a night where you don't have your top two player. So, like at least maybe it's justified if you have your full roster, right? Like, okay, you know what? He sat him down. He wanted to put Cat in or Brunson to play with Cat. Like, it's like, okay, you can say, okay, I understand it. We have enough firepower on the court now. But on a night where you don't have Cat, right? Just like if we don't have Brunson the next game, on nights where you don't have your top two players, in my opinion, as a coach, those are nights you should be wanting to play players that are red hot because it's making your night easier. You know how difficult it is to coach a game and try to win games? I mean, go ask the Orlando Magic. Go ask Jamal Mosley how difficult it is to win games where you don't have your best players. But you know what you do? Or at least what you try to do, in my opinion, is when you have a guy that's giving you one of those, streaky nights where what players say, where the rim looks like, an ocean. The rim looks like a baseball field. Like it's like you shoot and it's just, you feel like everything that you throw up, it's going to go in. I would think those are the nights that the players making the job easier for you tonight, coach. Just give them a few more minutes. Keep going with the high hand. And it's like, even on those nights, to go to the template style of substitution patterns is just, like you said, it's baffling. It's just frustrating.
And we've seen this in the past with Quickly too, man. Even when Quickly was on this team, Quickly would have like a good stretch in a fourth quarter. And you're like, why is he going to the bench, man? Like, we need him out there. He's going, but man, that is one part of the game I will never understand about Tibbs. But let's get back to the lines, JD. Let's get back to the lines. We got some people on the lines that want to talk. Let's go to Knicks Fan for Life. Knicks Fan for Life. Unmute your mic. What's going on, man? Knicks Fan for Life. Are you there? Going once. Twice. Knicks Fan for Life. All right, we'll come back to you, man. We'll come back to you. You know who is ready? Who's usually ready? STG Nick is always ready. STG Nick, are you there right there? Are you right there right now? There he is. What's going on, Nick? How are you feeling, man? What did you think about tonight's game? I'm sure you were in the Garden, man. You about to give us the Garden report?
Yes, I was there. Vibes were pretty good early on. Loud ovation for Julius there in the starting lineups, which is nice to see. And yeah, he came out very passive. The Knicks sending doubles at him all night. I don't know how many turnovers he had, but like Knicks got a lot of steals on him. But I thought for the most part, Julius made the right pass a lot of the times, got the ball out, swung it around. They got good open looks from three, which was the story of the night. Minnesota getting great looks from three. Also, I thought they hit some tough ones, like Anthony Edwards. Shout out to him. I mean, he had some ones where he was taking his defender one-on-one, like step back, swish. I mean, Naz Reid 6 for 6 from three. He was getting look after look. But the Knicks, I mean, through the Thibodeau era, have always kind of struggled with the stretch bigs defending those threes. So I wasn't really surprised by that. Like we always get killed by KP when we play the Celtics. I mean, that was the main point I was going to hit on. You guys just talked about mainly there with Cam Payne there in the second quarter, like 18 points in a span of like 4 minutes, and then like we don't see him again. So it would have been nice to see him give a little something there in the second half. And another like trend that I noticed going on with the team is throughout the years, just the struggle in the fourth quarter. I saw a stat prior to tonight's game where it's like they're 22nd in net rating in the fourth quarter, but for the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, they're no worse than eighth. So that's a pretty drastic difference from those quarters to the fourth quarter, and there's a big drop off. And also the home struggles continue to like be not so like they're struggling at home. I don't know what the record is now. I think it was like 13-8 or 13-7 before. So now I think they're 13-8 at home. So you'd like to see them be better at home, but like they just struggle to close games down the stretch. Like the game against Detroit, that was there for the taking. They couldn't get it. They got Philly, and then they couldn't get tonight. Couldn't get Orlando 2 weeks ago. So like I just want to see them get better in crunch time. I know they don't have Cat, but yeah, that's pretty much that. Tough loss, but get back soon.
Yeah, Nick, appreciate the call, my man. Appreciate you checking in and giving us the Garden report. Yeah, man, I don't know why it was a conversation that whether or not Julius was going to get an ovation. It's like he was going to he was part of what the change was. He's the reason why we got Cat in the building now. So that was going to happen. But with regards to the fourth quarter, advanced stats when it comes to net rating, the Knicks are now 23rd after tonight's game. They are minus 4.1 when it comes to fourth quarter play. And they're just, we've just seen it. And I think it's a multitude of things. I think it's one, tired legs. We know it's a top heavy roster. The bench can give it to you can give you some production on some nights. Some nights it can't. Tonight, it was giving you the production. You thought Cam Payne would get a little bit more. Precious and Sims were struggling tonight. They didn't give you a lot. So this is the mixed bag that is the bench. But at the same time, it also comes down to execution, both from a coaching standpoint and from a player standpoint. And this is just why we keep seeing the fourth quarter be like these mixed bags, even against Philly, where it should never, one could say it should never have gotten to that point. It's still good that they have to execute in those moments, because postseason, we've seen this happen before, where those moments are going to come, and you just need to be able to close out games that are close in the balance. But for that type of game, right, one could also say that it should never have gotten to that point if we executed well down the stretch of that game and didn't take our foot off the pedal, whether that be offensively or just being as a collective defensively. And that's the biggest thing everyone's talking about, JD, is the lack of communication on defense. And, that's partly like the center's job, because as the point guard calls out the play for the offense, typically your center is like telling you what to do and calling out the rotations that you need, or somebody in the front court. And we're just not getting the full on communication, even with, I think, guys on their wing on like who's going to rotate, who's going to drop, just doing stuff of that nature. It's just communication defensively continues to be an issue that has been repeated over and over and over again. And so this team, man, in the fourth quarter, it's all about communication. JD, I know you've played sports. I've played sports. Like, coach will always tell you two things. You're not faster than the ball, and the only thing faster than the ball is your mouth. And so, like, you got to be able to communicate. And so if these guys aren't doing that in the most critical, pivotal point of any game, it's going to look like it is right now with a negative 4.1 net rating in these fourth quarters.
And as you mentioned, also playing in organized hoops, playing in college hoops, tournaments. The fourth quarter is also where your team chemistry, your schemes, your personnel, that's where they're going to get tested the most, because that's where usually the best players are taking the most shots, right? It's the quarter, it's money time quarter, right? So that's where, Anthony Edwards tonight, Kay Cunningham the other night. The fourth quarter is money time. And so that's going to be the quarter that if you're a team like the New York Knicks right now that's struggling to find defensive chemistry, struggling to find the proper scheme for the players, and some players individually are struggling, well, you can get by potentially in the first three quarters because that's where the game is usually faster, right? When it comes to pace, but everything slows down, even fast teams, everything slows down in the fourth quarter. And then now you're talking about attention to detail, possession to possession, execution, your best guy versus the other best guy, rotations, like all these things have to be in sync. The New York Knicks are not in sync in any quarter at this point. And that's why the fourth quarter is the one that they're struggling the most.
Yeah. Those are all facts, my man. Those are all facts. LD, I saw that you were on the line, my man. We could, if you want to call back in, just go into the lounge and not the members lounge. I can't pull people right now from the members lounge. I need TM back, but he's on vacation. So if you do want to get your takes, LD, make sure to go through the lounge. Looking for your takes tonight. But you know what we're also looking for tonight?
What's your
question?
I was just going to quickly ask you, what has been your biggest disappointment of the season so far?
Biggest disappointment? It's just been defense, man. Defensively. Offensively, we know this team can get it going. Like, there's no question about it. Like, I'm also, like, as we live in the micro, right? Game by game and this season, there's a bigger picture ahead. This is teams together for 3 to 4 years. Like, this is the time that's going to be they got 3 to 4 years to do what their goal is with this roster, which is to win a championship. So I'm not trying to go like too far. I'm not trying to be on tilt to like 1,000, right? There is another season. As much as we have this new roster, we want to see them execute and make a run and do all those things. I'm trying to keep that in perspective. But defensively is where it just struggle. It's just hard, man. It's just difficult. And like the concerns were there even on the 9-game winning streak, but they're showing now, and they're about to show up maybe even more because we're going to have other teams. Like we got the most difficult schedule to finish the season, but it's been defensively. 3-point shooting, we're middle of the pack when it comes to protecting the rim, but defensively has just been the bigger issue because, and I keep referring back to the article that a friend of the program, Wall Murray, wrote. It's like he goes through all the teams, man, and you need to have a top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. The offense is there. It's now the defense has to get up there, and even with the 3 teams that were not in the top 10 when they got to the postseason, there's like caveats to it. It's like the Nuggets turned it up after 25 games into the season. They had a 7th defensive rating. You know, when you look at the Lakers when they won in the early 2000s, they didn't have Derek Fisher, one of the best perimeter defenders, until he came back to that postseason run and then their defense started to shoot up. And so it's like there's caveats to even those teams that didn't have top-end defenses, and I'm just waiting for the moment where like this team looks good. And if we're going to talk about the defense as a whole, and we were really going to lock in, it's Wingstop. Like that's supposed to be the cure of all.
I was just about to say, man, you know what this is reminding me of? The way it's going. Now, I'm not gonna say now. I'm not gonna, the way it's going. Man, this experiment is reminding me of the Clippers got Kawhi, Paul George.
Oh, don't go! Come on, man. No, I can't go that far. Come on, my man.
Bro, hold on. Hear me out. When I still remember that night when I got those notifications and they got Paul George, Kawhi, and then Patrick Beverley went there. Again, I'm not talking about as a team talent. I'm talking about defensively. You remember everybody saying, how you going to score on them? There's no way. This might be the best, defense ever in terms of, a duo. Bro, OG and Mikal, I thought we were going to get something like that. I thought, we were going to get like, especially the way OG was playing defense last year by himself a lot of times.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, oh, now we getting Mikal? Are we going to get the Phoenix Suns Mikal now? We're going to get Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Phoenix Suns Mikal Bridges? And then after seeing how Dante DiVincenzo, what the Knicks were able to get out of him in terms of a career year. DiVincenzo last year defended. He had a career season as a defender. He was an active defender. He was physical. He was gritty. Yeah, he was a little undersized. Certain matchups gave him trouble, but yo, people talk about his offense. He had his best defensive season. And so I'm thinking like, okay, now we're gonna get Mikal, another Nova. Like, oh my God, him and OG. What this is gonna look like? It don't even matter that we have Cat at the 5 and Brunson at the 1, and then you got Josh Hart to clean up the mess. And I thought, like, I'm just saying, like, it just gave me that excitement of when the Clippers had Paul George and Kawhi from a defensive standpoint. The way the conversation was defensively. I'm not talking about anything else. I'm not talking about injuries, offense, or whatever expectations you had. I'm talking about defensively. You had those two wing guys, and people thought this thing was going to go crazy. And I thought the same thing too, man. So, and right now, it hasn't been anything close to what I thought this was going to be defensively. And listen, I think we're playing a dangerous game, thinking that Mitch is going to be, Ed Reed or Troy Polamalu or Darrell Revis or one of these, great erasers that they just going to, erase everything and they're the solution. I think we're playing a little dangerous game saying, oh, just wait till Mitch gets back. Because in the end, if you individually are struggling, it doesn't matter who's behind you if you can't keep nobody in front of you. The guy behind you is just going to cover for you if you get beat off the dribble or at the point of attack. And, just surprisingly, some of the defense that I'm seeing individually too from some of these players this season has been a disappointment.
JD dropping bars out here. Let's take another break on our show to salute our sponsor, Manscaped. Everybody out there, don't forget, I know we're not doing Skims tonight. I know you're all missing out on the Skims read. I'm sure JD's been enjoying that too, watching CP just talk about his Skims and talk about everything else. But, hey, we're going back to Manscaped, all right? Manscaped has been a trusted and true supporter of this program and has laced everybody on this channel. JD, myself, CK, CP, we all use Manscaped products. They got so many different lines. They got the beard hedger, they got the lawnmower, they got the handyman. They got so many different products to keep you looking right and keep you in shape. And not only do they have like the machines to keep your face or any other parts of you intact, they also got shampoos, they got ball deodorants, they got so many different things to keep you looking clean and looking fresh. So that way when you go out there, you want to mingle with the ladies, man, you're looking clean. You're not going out there looking crazy, man. So make sure to support our sponsor, Manscaped. Use that promo code KFTV to get up to 20% off plus free shipping. Once again, that is promo code KFTV to get up to 20% off and free shipping. No testimonials, please. None of that. No testimonials whatsoever. Let's get back.
They better. Who we got next? Monday, right?
Monday.
This is the game I've been waiting for. Y'all better not come out soft against the Hawks. Not after they disrespected us. Because last time we played them was the tournament, right?
Yeah, last time we did play
the logo, the Trae Young logo moment that now I'm pretty sure. I don't even know if this game is on national TV. Probably isn't because it's a 3:00 game on a Sunday during the football weekend. So, but bro,
you got 2 days of rest, JD. You got 2 days of rest. You got tomorrow off. You got Sunday off before you get to play them.
I don't want to hear the excuses about minutes. I don't want to hear that. Oh, it's not even semi matinee because it's 3:00, right? Like, I don't want to hear nothing.
No. I don't want to hear matinee, man. That's the old Knicks. That is way, way, way long ago. That is way long ago. I don't want to hear nothing about matinees.
Because if we let Trae Young come in here and do some
for a third time,
like because you saw the fan base was in shambles that game. You thought the season was over. They took that was personal, man. Man, they were calling these players soft, the team soft, the whole organization soft. The staff members that was on the court, y'all even let him do that. They called everybody soft. Like everybody was, the fan base was
getting called soft. They're like, yo, that's how you pack popcorn.
Everybody was getting called soft, man. Like, we can't. This game, they have to. I can't wait for this game. I'm looking forward to this one because it's at the Garden again, right?
It should be at the Garden, and it is at the Garden.
Even better. Even better, because you know how the media is going to play it. Oh, Trae Young's back, blah, blah, blah. What are the Knicks going to do? So, and it goes along to what you've been saying in terms of the schedule. We're playing a little bit, some more competitive teams that are starting to, play well. And yeah, Knicks have to step it up, man. Next game is kind of like an emotional must win. I don't know if it's a season must win, but it's a fan base must win. I'll say that.
It's definitely. I mean, come on, man. You allowed the guy, and granted, the only guy on the team who was even on the court that night, Mitchell Robinson, and he was even in the playoffs that year where Trae Young, eliminated the Knicks from the postseason. He got injured that year, right? It's like these guys don't really have the connection as everyone talked about. They don't have the connection to like that loss, but still, like it's a fan base thing. This is a guy that knows how to get under Knicks fans' skins, and it's just like it's aggravating. Actually, he is almost like Reggie Miller, where it's like you're not even that great against us, man. But hey, it's like what?
That's the most annoying part,
that's
bro.
the annoying part, man.
Yo, it's like people make it seem like Trae Young is 20-8 against the Knicks. It's not
that's what's frustrating about this whole thing, JD. And so it's like, can you please wake up for this game? There's no, I can't, man. I just can't. Cannot.
And he could go 8 for 30, but if that one shot of the 30 is a clutch one, it's like Trae Young again does it to the Knicks, and they just gas it up crazy. So no, they have to figure out a way to win next game. Sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, let's get to Knicks Fan for Life on the Discord. Knicks Fan for Life, are you there?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
There he is. He's ready to go
Sorry
now. What's
about
going
that.
on, my man? How you feeling? It's all good. What's happening?
Hey.
How you feeling tonight?
I mean, I'm not feeling great. I called in last year before they traded for OG. I wasn't high on RJ. I said the team had to make a move. They did. And it was going well. I mean, last year's team was elite in January until it fell apart with the injuries. I let this year play out so far, just observing what's going on. But my main takeaway is that this team is not a contender. And it's kind of for the reasons you guys mentioned it. I mean, number one, they don't play any defense. And this idea that Mikal and OG, they're gonna shut down guys like Anthony Edwards, Trae Young, like this is all it's not happening. Like these guys are not defending at the point of attack. So when they're getting blown by, you don't have a rim protector with Cat either. So, you've got guys collapsing inside, wide open threes over and over and over again. And that's part of the scheme that Tibbs wants. We saw it, it's not anything new. This happened last year, this happened the year before, but last year you had OG who was just playing at an insane level, so it didn't matter. And I don't think the defense is going to get that much better unless Mitch comes back in, he plays the 5 and he just cleans everything up at the glass, and guys stay home to shooters. Like that's the one caveat to this, but I mean Mitch is injury prone, so I don't know, that's like the one way that this season could be saved. And then the second thing is, when it comes to the depth issues, right? They don't have any depth because they don't draft. Like who are they drafting here? They've traded away all their picks, right? They traded away all their picks for Bridges, and guys like Kolek and Huck Porty, I mean, they don't even touch the floor, right? So like in this game today, Sims and Precious, they were not playing well. Why couldn't Huck Porty get a look, right? See what he can give you. See if he can protect the rim. See if he's giving you good minutes. That's where the criticism of Tibbs comes in, where he is stubborn with his game plan. He's like, I'm going to play these guys only. I'm not adjusting at all. And that's the problem, because come playoff time, right? If we go up against Miami in the first round, yeah, we're the better team, but how confident are we going to feel that we can pull it out? Who knows, right? If we play Orlando, another physical, defensive-minded team, we have the talent advantage, but it doesn't mean anything if we don't get it all together. And I'm sensing some chemistry issues too, because you got Josh Hart, subtly implying that guys aren't buying in. I mean, the guy to point to is OG. I mean, the way he's playing the last month, I mean, he's taking these nasty mid-range step back contested jumpers that are bricks. He's shooting, threes that are like contested with hands in his face. When Paul George is like all over him, he's chucking them up. I mean, I don't know what OG's on. I don't know if he's mad that he's not like the second option on this team. Maybe because we heard about that from Toronto. In Toronto, there were rumors that he wasn't happy with his role there, that he could do more offensively. I think OG thinks he's better on offense than he actually is. He cannot create for himself. He's a good 3-point shooter and a great slasher. That's what he needs to get back to. And if he's not gonna buy into that, I'm wondering if that's affecting his defense now too. Because last month his defense ain't been on point. I'm gonna leave it over there. I'm gonna leave it all there, but my main takeaway is that there's something wrong with this team. This team is not contending right now.
Mods, we need to control CP in the chat, mods. Let's control CP, man. My man's had some drinks.
First and foremost, shout out to Knicks Fan for Life. Rate that call in the chat. 5 being facts, 1 being trash. Let me know what you thought about Knicks Fan for Life's call on the call on the Discord. See, Jay, you're mixing me up, my man. Mixing me up because you're talking about CP in there. Just
CP forget CP's acting like a true chat fan. Like he's giving his opinions. Some wild ones, but man.
CP saying not a great slasher. We miss RJ. Wow, we're going to meet. We miss RJ. What is happening in this chat? We're getting some 5s. We saw. I don't know who the tomatoes for. If it was for the caller, but we're getting some 5s for the caller. Knicks Fan for Life. You are getting some 5s right now for your call. Holy cow, CP! What? And we're saying, CP, what are you sipping on? CP saying he's getting ready to log in. He's tight. One minute you're saying you're ready to go to bed, man. In the chat now you're saying you're getting ready to log in. What is it, man? Make a decision. What's happening over here?
It's an emotional night, man. Randall comes to the Garden, goes home with a dub. Oh, he shook hands tonight. He definitely shook hands tonight.
You saw that one with Brunson, though? You saw that one with Brunson? It was like, real quick. Yeah, good stuff, man. It kept walking. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that might have been Brunson saying, oh, you forgot what you did in Minnesota? Huh? Yeah. When I was looking for you, and you was nowhere to be found because y'all got smoked? Oh, now you want to say what's up. You want to say what's up now. Get out of here. I would have walked right off the court.
Oh, man. After he left the game before it even ended yesterday, now he's sticking around for obviously he can't go far, but it's like, bro.
Nah, man.
What is going on? But this game, I mean, yes, emotional. If this was with Cat on the floor, it would have been like a whole other different level. You know that, right? Like if it would have been 10 times worse. But
you know is another. I've been saying this in terms of like before the season started. Nobody talks about this. This is the first time that Mikal's playing the 2. First time. Can somebody
playing full-time 4, right?
Can somebody tell me when was the last time Mikal played the 2 guard in the NBA? When he was in Phoenix, he was a 3. Right. When he was in Brooklyn, he was a 3. Mm-hmm. He's never played the 2 guard. And now, although that's why sometimes things look a little clumsy to me with the team out there because, he's a 6'6", 6'7", lanky. He's not like that smooth, the Zach LaVine. You saw Anthony Edwards tonight. Like, 2 guards look prototypical. Mikal looks like a 3 playing the 2. And sometimes I think in weird ways, I think that could be throwing off some things because of where your position is offensively, where you have to be. You have to be a little bit more up top than on the corners and the edges when you're a 3. Sometimes you're more on the side of the court as a 2 guard. You're playing a lot with the point guard. And then defensively, you're further out. So I was just interested to see the synergy on the court and how the rhythm looks. And sometimes, with the way OG moves and like Mikal is not really like a speedster at the 2. Sometimes I feel like they work a little bit too hard to get good looks, to get good shots. How many times you see, and now Mikal's adjusting a little bit on the corners with a quicker release. Yes. But like OG takes forever to get his shot out, right? Even Josh Hart has a little bit of a hitch. Like a lot of the even Brunson, with his motion, like we don't have like really like quick trigger shooters where it's boom, boom. It's like even when our guys are open, by the time they shoot, the hand is already there because their slow motion of their mechanics allows the defenders to get up a good contest even when they're open. So having Mikal added to that at the 2, I just was interested to see how it would flow offensively. And listen, when Cat is on, none of that really matters because Cat is that good. But I just feel like sometimes I just would want to see lineups to where some of these guys are playing their traditional positions. You got, for example, Precious at the 5. A lot of times at the 5, he's undersized. He doesn't look as good. Finishing around the rim is a little bit of an issue with him because he's a wing playing the 5.
Well, even
right?
with for sure, and even look at OG, man. I mean, even though we joke with Josh Hart being like the power forward, the assignment for Randall tonight was OG. You know what I mean? OG is comfortable playing the 3, and now he has to go up a weight class. You know, like now it's like now you're battling even more. You're playing more physical than what he probably even had to do at the 3, just like Mikal, right? And so when you get to see that versatility just like shine through, think about last year. He was playing the 3. You had Randall at the 4. You had Dante at the 2. That's more comfortable for him. And so like,
and you see OG
like
struggling to finish. You see OG with some bigger players, right? So taller players. Look, OG seems like right now he doesn't even know, like he can't even figure out a way to get even a good look around the rim. He's not finishing around the rim at all.
Are tough,
bro. He's shooting layups like if it was CP out there. You know what I mean? Like CP trying to finish around the rim. It don't look pretty. So I'm like, yo, what's going on here? Like, yo, did you see even that layup he made today? Even the one he made, it's like he shot it from his knee.
Bro, it was like
this.
Yes.
You know, I'm just saying he doesn't look comfortable, and I don't know if that's because of with the positions they haven't, you know, because when you play the 4. You're at a certain part of the court, and sometimes the lanes drive you towards the basket. LeBron could play that very well because LeBron can finish around, right? But when you have a guy like OG, more of a corner 3-point shooter, but you see, notice when he plays lineups that have a guy his size or a little bit lighter, he goes to work down. He goes to work around the rim.
That's the thing, right? It's like you see
it's
when
different.
you get those mismatches, especially for his size at the 3, it's like Kawhi playing the 3, right? Like where you now have like that mismatch strength-wise, height-wise, wingspan-wise. Like that's what made him so versatile last year. It's like, okay, you're going to play the 3. Who are you really playing at those positions that's going to be matching that type of physicality with OG? When you go up to the 4, and I know like today's 4 is not necessarily the traditional 4 that we think of, like KG, you know, Randall's like one of the very few that even is like built like that. If you're thinking about Cat last year, who was on the Timberwolves, like those are very rare that you're now playing 4s at that, but still it's a position that is front court. It's a little bit more grueling physically on you. You're looking to be in the paint, you know, you're battling, you're always fighting for position, and who you're probably switching with defensively is somebody playing the 5 or helping them because that's your closest teammate, right? From a defensive schematic standpoint. And so if that's where you're sticking around, like that's a lot more work for him, man. And we just see it. I mean, whether it even be Tobias Harris, doesn't matter who it is, man. Like that's still work from a height, strength perspective. And so this is not the position he was always playing. In Toronto, he was always a 3. When he joined the Knicks, he was a 3.
I wonder if
being a 3.
Maybe that's why he's not. Maybe you know, is it that?
Maybe
Who knows?
Is that why he's got a gripe? I mean,
maybe it's not so much that he's saying I need to be the 3 option over Mikal or this or that in the 4th. Maybe, who knows? But you know, the way you counter that, which is also something he's not doing recently, is you got to hit your open shots, and he's also not hitting. You know, I think he's down to like 34%, close to 33% from 3. That's not going to cut it for OG Anunoby, especially when you scout the Knicks. You probably look at it like, okay, if Mikal is hot, we probably want OG to take some of these shots because he's slower release, gives us at least an opportunity to contest his shot. You see that his mechanics are a little off. Sometimes he doesn't have much of an arc on his arm. He just goes like straight through. And you could also see when you contest a OG shot, he can get uncomfortable very easily. He doesn't seem to be a guy that can hit tough shots with a hand right, you know, contesting at the highest point. He seems to be more comfortable. He needs to have space in order to get the fluidity of his mechanics on his jump shot. So OG's probably the guy as an opponent that I would want the most shooting those shots, even though he is supposed to hit it at a different, at an efficient clip, but he's not doing that right
Yeah, man. And it's like you just see it. I mean, he's even trying to line it up. Like you see, like he's like it's almost like he's pulling out the the binoculars, trying to read like he's playing golf, like measuring the distance, and then before he's putting up the shot, I'm like, dude, if you got to go through all of that, there's confidence is just winding down. And look, man, it's questions for this roster. It's questions for Tom Thibodeau. It's questions for the front office. Like, how do you adjust to get these guys more comfortable? And it's like, is it even just something so simple, like just to solve one of the issues? Is it just put in Josh Hart at the 2? Like, is it just him guarding 2s? And like, I know that's what you got Bridges for, but does that even help? And like, just think about a way to make it more like of a help defense. Maybe is it even just going to something so simple as zone? No, that will never happen though.
quick buy or sell. Do you think, or not even buy or sell, yes or no? Do you think before the season ends, even including the playoffs, do you think we'll see a game where Mitchell Robinson is starting at the 5 and Cat is starting at the 4? I'm not telling you who they're going to bench or what the lineup is, but what I am asking you is, do you see at any point, we'll see that lineup. Do you think we'll ever see it as a starting lineup where Mitch is at the 5 and Cat is at the 4?
I don't think so.
So you think they're gonna die on this hill?
I think so. and I think the reason is for this. I mean, you just got to look at that. I mean, that would just cause a lot of controversy. I mean,
so we're adding optics into it now.
I mean, it's partially. I mean, come on, man. Like, how would it sound if I said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna put either OG or Bridges on the bench to start."
Or you bench OG. He's walking out the building.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You talk about rumors of him not buying in now? Try to play with his starting spot.
But he would never be benched because he's making $200 million. You know what I mean? So it's like the realistic thing would be it'd be either Josh Hart or Mikal Bridges. Those are the one of the two. And the only a lot of picks for Bridges and Josh Hart.
I was just about to say, I don't think you can ever bench anybody but Hart. And the funny thing is, Hart is the guy that is an all-star this year, right? He's not going to make it, but I guarantee you, Josh Hart is like in the Draymond Green territory. If the Knicks would be coming off a championship, he would have that cachet. He would get it. If the Knicks had the Cleveland Cavaliers record, he probably would go in as a reserve. But he's not. But you can make a strong argument Josh Hart should be an all-star. And isn't that crazy how we're like, you look at the Cavaliers, you look at these teams that have better records, and they're more of a team, but the Knicks individually, you're telling me today that Brunson and Cat should be the starters. And then you're telling me that OG Anunoby, for at least a month, we were saying, oh my God, this guy is the third option. He said, forget all this. I'm the third option. Mikal? No, I'm the third option. I'm the $200 million guy. That's 3. And then you're also telling me that Josh Hart should be an all-star. How is it that all this and look, and we don't seem to be a strong contender? It's just crazy when you think about it.
Absolutely crazy, man. Man. Tough night, man. Tough night. I think this is a good place to wrap it up, though, bro. I think it's a good place to wrap it up. It's a tough night, man.
Yeah. Let's get this over. I'm tired of seeing CP, getting too crazy in the comments. He I think CP needs to go to bed too.
Yeah, he is at that age, man. He is 40 now. I heard that they even need more rest at that age. So, man, Knicks was a tough one, man. 116-99 to the Minnesota Timberwolves, where even Julius Randle decided to play like a Lonzo Ball type game. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that's the way that this team would go out on a night like this? Oh, man. So salute to Knicks Nation for everyone for tuning in tonight, man. Salute to all the franchise channel members. Nostalgic Nick, I see you in here. JJ, John Talento, Junior Karoma. Shout out to all you guys for always coming through. Respect Shaq. Shout out to you as well. We got our regulars in here. I see Jose M as well. Do things. I saw you in here calling out CP saying, was I scared when I made that comment? Was I scared? Jay, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you heard Do Things comment way back in December. He was like, He wanted to see this team beat somebodies. That's all he wanted. He's like, I ain't going to get too happy until they start beating somebodies. And now he's calling out CP saying, hey, man, was I really scared? So, wow. Shout out to KG7 for being in here as always. Shout out to all of Knicks Nation. Rare edition, I see you as well. Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to everyone who joined on the KFTV postgame tonight. Appreciate you all for coming through. You already know what it is. Make sure to catch us for the next one on Monday where the Knicks play the Atlanta Hawks. Shout out to you, JD. Great job as always. Daniel, shout out to you as well. All right, everyone. We out.
Peace. Let's go Knicks.
Man.
Bro. I got some
Wait,
adjustments.
are we still live? Hold on one second.
I gotta make some adjustments to this computer, man.
Hold on one second. Daniel, did you cut it?
This shit is crazy.
Nah, we still live? Oh, snap, we still live?
Wait, we still live?
We still live.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Daniel, where you? Yo, everybody still be doing what is going on here, man? CP be doing this to me. Now Daniel's doing this to me. Dan, did you fall asleep?
Wait, that ass we live?
We still live, man. We are still live. They're watching us in the chat.
CP was acting like he was in his computer. He probably was under the covers, ready to go to bed. Telling like, yo, guys, wrap it up. Want to turn my cell phone off. See, he's not on the chat no more. He's probably already snoring.
Yeah, CP's asleep, man. He's 40, like I said. And everyone's still laughing over here. We still live. Yeah, we are still live. We are still up here. Bonus show, overtime, KFTV After Dark, 12:30. What's happening? Someone said JD was about to go off. JD, what was you about to say?
Yo, I was about to yo, I'm not even gonna. Y'all can't be playing with me like that, man.
Oh man,
There's about to be some locker room talk over here.
Locker room talk. Holy cow! Oh man, we're going way past the family. We know we live. We know we live. We know we are live.
Yo, I was laying back too. I was about to say, yo, I had a few thoughts.
A few thoughts. Where is Daniel?
There you hit me with the we live. I said, yeah, I'm not ended up on Twitter tonight. Y'all not gonna get me.
Well, I don't know where Daniel is.
I'm not about to get that phone call from CP, so I'm good.
Trying to figure out where our producer is. Producer Daniel taking a nap.
Because especially the people in the chat, they know from the play-by-play how passionate I get. I hate to lose, man.
Hate it. Well, they're asking you questions, JD.
What, Bills or Ravens?
Yep.
Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? I mean, to me, the Baltimore Ravens have the better roster. Josh Allen's different right now. I don't know, Alex. I don't know. That's more your conference. You're a Jet fan. That's AFC.
I don't want to talk. Don't even bring up my football, man. I'm so disgusted at my team.
Yo,
you send me stuff all the time. I just get angry every time you send me Jets material. Oh man.
Yo, what's up? What's up with the producer?
Producer Daniel, where you at, man? All right. What is going on? I don't want to go.
What's your score prediction next game? What are we doing to the
score prediction for the Hawks? I'm gonna be Homer, man. I'm gonna say we go out there and we get the revenge that we need. I think we're gonna. Cat's gonna be back for that game. He'll be back for that one. Be a 20-point victory.
20-point victory?
Yeah. I think we go off that game.
You know what I hate? I hope Cat plays, but if he doesn't, they're gonna do the whole thing they do with Deuce. They're gonna make him a game time decision, and I hate that they make him a game time decision every single game. How are you game time for a whole week? How are you game time? A whole week, your game time decision, but you're not playing.
Ah, man.
This team getting me tight, man.
All right, man.
This team getting me tight, man. Because I'm about to turn up for the play-by-plays. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do all that, and I hope we don't just disappoint this year, man. I really hope we don't. I'm banking on the parity of the league. I'm banking on parity. I'm banking on, when the playoffs come, we're gonna strap up, and it doesn't matter, right? Because anything can happen. I'm banking on these guys stepping up late and Mitch helping and all that stuff and all that. But come on, man. You do realize this is it for us, right? Like, you do realize this has to
you're
work.
Still alive. I hope you know we're
You
still alive.
do realize this has to work, right? Like, if this don't work, we're back to KFTV 10 years ago, where CP's monologue was the same intro every night. Here we go. Knicks get smoked by 20. And it won't matter because we still going to end up with the 9th pick and draft Michael Sweetney. Come on, man. I'm not trying to go back to those days. It was already bad enough. You know how hard it is as a Knicks fan? Yo, we didn't win nothing during the Kobe and LeBron era. You know how crazy that is for history, man? We didn't win nothing in that era. We're not a part of that history. Nothing. Come on, man.
Now you're trying to make me depressed, man.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying this has to work.
It does have to work. I agree with you. But now you're just oh man.
And especially, yo, bro, think about this too. Rebuilding. You know how hard it is to rebuild? Because look, the Pistons, right? You see how everybody's hype about the Pistons? They only one game over 500?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, are they really a championship team? They're not. So now they're going to start winning, but you can make the case they still need another franchise player. So is the Pistons really heading into contention, or are they heading into being an team? So you see, that's what I'm saying. And they tanked. They got Cade, but they got other nice players, but do they bro? And then look at OKC. Everybody hype up OKC. If they don't have SGA, all those picks, and everybody, that don't mean nothing. That doesn't mean anything, bro. You know how lucky you got to get with these rules to be a true contender?
Oh, with the new cap rules, it's going to be 10 times.
Look at the Nuggets. Look at the Nuggets.
But
look at the Nuggets.
But JD, this is what the league wants. They want.
What have the Nuggets been drafting? What have the Nuggets been drafting? Who have they? Who? What? Jokic, 2nd round. If it wasn't for Jokic, where would the Nuggets be? And that's a 2nd round hit. Come on, man. And then for whatever reason, this era is not like, okay, you got Wembanyama. Let's see. I don't know. We'll see. This day and age, everybody's a generational player. And then you're like, they really not LeBron. They really not Kobe. So it's like, I don't know, man. This has to work, bro. This has to work.
Has to. But
this
is what the NBA wanted, right? This is what they wanted with their whole salary cap, with making. They wanted more parity in the league. They wanted something closer to the NFL as a product where they want it's just you have no idea. Tougher to make dynasties, but you have no idea who's going to win. So that way you try to keep people locked in, and it's just going to be that much more difficult, man. But look, for NBA, man, it's a lot of it's luck. Drafting Nikola Jokic as a 2nd rounder is luck. Getting Giannis to fall the way that they did to the Bucks, that's luck, man. The way that we got JB, that's also luck. You know what I mean? Like, thank God the Mavs fumbled the bag on that one.
That's it. We showed our cards with the Mikal trade. We said this is it. And I guarantee you, if we had a GM that talked to the fans, you probably would have gotten that hit as a quote. Because whenever you make a move like that, it's because you feel it's the last piece.
Yep. These are all facts. And guess what? Guess who decided to wake up, JD? Our producer woke up. So after we got
just getting started.
After we got Jade, we almost got JD fully uncut, but hey,
Yeah. Oof, oof.
thank you all for tuning in for the KFTV post game live. Yet again, you all got the bonus edition. All right, you got overtime work from us. So salute to you guys for still tapping in and enjoying a good JD rant. I'm sure now we're gonna look back at this and this is gonna get clipped up like there's no tomorrow. So
And we had a quick super chat because of that too. $5
Well-
super chat.
let's see, we got a $5 super chat from Tizzy73. I had to drop one more because JD on fire. Facts. Salute to all the super chats, man, that came through. I don't have access to them right now, but I'll make sure to shout out to all you guys on the next one. We appreciate all of them as always. Appreciate all of you from Knicks Nation. We out this time, legitimately.
Legitimately. Are we really out now? The